Welcome to the MeMyddleton Show, a place to encourage neo-spiritualists to laugh, love, and learn, while we virtually walk through topics of the spiritual, magical, natural, and occultic world. I am your host, Evina. You have now entered the MeMyddleton Show. Thank you, and welcome back to another episode of the MeMyddleton Show. And today's guest is a Houston, Texas native who absolutely loves the law of attraction and has exercised it religiously. By using the law of attraction, she has successfully healed herself from many trials, tribulations, addictions, abuse, and homelessness. Law of Attraction has also led her to becoming the founder and CEO of 13 Degrees of Gold, which is a metaphysical, holistic apothecary shop. She creates copper and crystal jewelry, herbal teas, tinctures, butters, scrubs, deodorant, sprays, bath salts, and wholesales 100% pure essential oils handcrafted by a B.O.B. or Black-owned business. She also offers consultations to help people create the life they want to live. She is a model and a conscious style rapper and writer known as Goddard Musiq, where she speaks about law of attraction, the Orishas, her ancestors, sovereignty, crystals, herbs, and a metaphysical way of life. This sister absolutely loves money and loves to help others create it. Everyone, we welcome Aishatu Ahmadu. Welcome to the MeMyddleton Show. Thank you so much, sister, for being on the show. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Super fantastic. I thank you kindly and excited to have this interview with you. In the edification, in your bio, you stated that you've healed yourself from all of these different negative things. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. So me being on my spiritual journey and learning the different universal laws and everything, it helped me heal. I used to have addictions, drug addictions, about 16, and so I did that from 16 to 28, and I just cold turkey the drugs I was on, using these spiritual practices, changing my mindset, changing what I was putting into my body. I also used the law of attraction, walking in my sovereignty and divinity and learning who I really was, living a more spiritual path. It helped me move out of being homeless. We became homeless. As soon as I got on my spiritual journey from Hurricane Harvey, my children and I were displaced. For 3 years, I was kind of just everywhere. We went from Houston to Louisiana to Beaumont to Los Angeles, back to Houston. I ended up getting pregnant while I was homeless. Then we moved to Alabama, and I was homeless in Alabama for about a year and a half before I got me a place. But I did manifest my home, my vehicles, everything was manifested with this new way of thinking. I did not go by the traditional way that I was taught as a child at all to create everything that I have now.
So what was the traditional way of thinking?
The old way of thinking was ignore your feelings, ignore, the things that are going on the inside of your body. Do what your parents say. Go to school, make good grades, get a job, and live the American dream, the white picket fence with the 2 kids and a husband, and, that is the success that you're supposed to achieve. That was the old way of thinking.
Yeah, that debilitating thing, not understanding that, the American dream is really a nightmare. So what is the law of attraction for those who don't understand what that is?
So the law of attraction, basically it is if you have a positive thought, you'll have positive experiences. If you have negative thoughts, then you'll have negative experiences.
So are those experiences like what you basically are manifesting?
So manifest, actually, the word manifest actually means clear or obvious to the eye or the mind. So manifest is something that we all do on a daily basis. You have never stopped manifesting. You will never be able to stop manifesting because it's just whatever is being made obvious to the eye or the mind. Okay, so we manifest good, we manifest bad, everything in your life will be made clear or obvious to the eye or the mind.
Okay.
Right, so we're always manifesting. The difference between manifestation and law of attraction is manifesting is you just becoming clear or obvious to what is showing up in your reality, whether you're seeing it or whether you are feeling it or thinking about it. And the law of attraction is a belief that positive or negative thoughts will bring positive or negative experiences. Depending on where you're focused. If you're focused negatively, then you will manifest negative experiences. Negative things will happen to you that will become clear to your mind or your eye.
Okay, so manifestation can be intentional or not, but law of attraction is intentional.
That's incorrect. Law of attraction happens whether you want it to or not also.
Okay.
Whether you're conscious of it or not is the difference. We bring things into our life through law of attraction. We bring those negative experiences even when we're unconscious. When we're not aware of what we're doing, like when we complain about things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you break a nail, you complain about your nail. You don't realize that if you complain anything past 17 seconds, another thought that is like the first thought you just had is going to join with it, okay? And if after that thought joins with it another 17 seconds, another similar thought is going to join with it because this is the law of attraction at work. Every 17 seconds, another like thought is going to join with it. Think about having a little kid by themselves versus 500 little kids. You know what I'm saying? So look at it like that's what you're doing that's what the law of attraction is. The law of attraction goes and attracts more children to bring into the situation. It goes and gets more thoughts just like the thoughts you just had.
Right. Okay.
So you do it whether you are aware that you're doing it or not. Like some people will play victim and play like, woe is me, like this all this crazy shit keeps happening to me, which was me. That was me whenever I was, in the streets, being, wild and crazy, being part of gangs, just having a crazy experience, selling drugs, doing drugs. When I was out there doing that, I was a victim. I was playing victim. I would act like crazy stuff would happen to me, like I would get in relationships with guys who would beat me up, and then I would act like I'm a victim, when really I'm attracting those situations to me. I have the choice to not date those kind of people. I have the choice to not even be in that type of environment. I'm choosing this thing, and then I act like a victim when the same thing keeps happening. I leave one relationship, get into another one, it's the same situation. I leave one friend, find another one, it's the same situation. I go from one problem to another. I couldn't see that I was the one generating the problems at the time. I couldn't see that I was curating these trials.
Right. So how do we attract what we actually want versus unconsciously attracting something that we don't want and then playing the victim?
It's simple. So the brain, think of a computer. Your brain is similar to a computer. So if you have a computer running on Windows 4, but you want to run it on Windows 10, all you have to do is uninstall Windows 4, and you install Windows 10, right? Same thing. So we're going to unprogram the mind. We're going to deprogram it. We're going to remove those old beliefs, those old paradigms, those old, the whole concept of our existence. We're going to have to lose our mind and create a new one.
Lose our mind and create a new one. I like the way you put that.
Well, I got that from a book that I've read, Dr. Joe Dispenza, How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One.
Oh, I like
and
that.
So,
okay. Thank you for that reference.
You can look up that book. It's a great book. But it's literally basically talking about what other people might consider as a form of insanity. Like you saying things and believing in things that they cannot see. In a Christian religion, they might call it faith, but this is like extreme faith because, just in my opinion, I was raised non-denominational Christian. I've been around Baptists and everything, and all of the people, even when I was a child, I realized that they weren't doing they weren't really living in faith. Right. I understood that at 8 years old, and it confused the hell out of me. Like, I was, and then it turned into just do what I say, not as I do type deal. And it's like, wait a minute. I knew from 8 years old that these people are not following this book. This is not what's going on. And
expecting a miracle out of you to do the same thing when they're not understanding that they're the first teachers. They got to show you how to do that. And they fail to do that, and expecting you to do that and get mad at you when you don't.
Well, that's because that's what was done to them. Right. So they were literally just following a program. But this is what I'm saying. Like, I practice more Christian teachings. I walk those things more now than I did when I was a Christian. I actually live on faith. When I was a Christian, I wasn't. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. When I was a Christian, I was praying and I was begging and I was hoping God would put a ram in the bush. And now I really step out on faith, like for real. That's what losing your mind and creating a new one is all about. You have to forget the fact that everything in your reality is your reality. And you have to become the person that you would be in your desired reality. So, for instance, I'll tell you how I manifested my house. Okay. When we were homeless. By the third year of me being homeless, along the way, I realized that I had to stop saying certain things. Like, I had to stop saying I am homeless. And so that was kind of difficult to do at first because that was my reality. So instead of me lying or whatever, I would just choose a different topic. I would not keep giving focus and attention to the fact that I was homeless because every time that I said I was homeless, the universe agreed with me and I would be homeless even longer. Right. And I was going to these homeless shelters like in Los Angeles asking them, can I have somewhere to stay? And then I would try to be a victim so that they would give me somewhere to stay. So then I would bring up, I have these children, and then I got pregnant while I was homeless. So then it was, I'm pregnant with these children, and I'm homeless, and I just kept perfecting that. And it was just like, no, you can't keep saying this and think that your situation is going to change. So I had to change the way I was speaking, change the way I was thinking, everything. So by the third year of me being homeless, I got to the point where I was fed up with it, and I started commanding. At first, I was demanding like a 2-year-old because I was upset that I was still homeless. Right. But I started demanding to the universe, like demanding my house. I deserve a home. I need a home. I'm a good person. Having this talk, and I would just go outside and I would talk, look up and talk to the stars. And I just started, and then it went from me demanding because I was upset to me affirming it out loud. I am a homeowner, all of these things. And then I found a video on YouTube from Neville Goddard, and Neville Goddard has a technique. It's about imagining, using your imagination right before you go to sleep to manifest the things you want. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try this. So I knew exactly how I wanted to get my home. So I found a congratulations letter offline just so my brain could wrap itself around the concept of me getting this, being awarded with this letter. And so then every night I would do what Neville Goddard suggested. And that would be imagining that I was receiving the letter in the mail, opening the letter, pulling the letter out, you know, the excitement on my face, like feeling the emotion in my body. I just kept doing this every night.
Wow. You know, I've done that same technique in public speaking. During my homelessness episode, I would see myself on stage. I would talk whatever I'm talking about. Sometimes I'm going blah, 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 because I don't know what the topic is. Or I'm actually speaking words because, you know, being a member of Toastmasters, I might be reciting a speech that I actually did in my Toastmasters club. And I imagine the plants on the stage, the actual updated podium. I envision the audience in the stands or out, you know, in front of me, and the spotlights, my outfit. I actually get up and make the physical movements of me, you know, performing my talk on stage with all the hand gestures and moving from one side of the stage to the other. I would actually perform myself doing that, and here I am now, public speaker.
Yeah, that's exactly how you do it. And then I took it a step further. So here's another technique I use. I then went to the store. Now, keep in mind, I'm living in a homeless shelter at this time. My grandmother was, like, helping me and my kids out, so we would go get, you know, food from her house or wash our clothes at her house. But I was staying at the homeless shelter. I went to the store, and I got a rug for my front door. And I saw this plaque in the store that said, "This is our happily ever after." And it made me break down in tears in the middle of the store because that's what I wanted, a happily ever after, you know? And so I bought the plaque and the rug, and I took them to my grandma's house. And I'm like, "Can I put this in your back room?" And she's like, "What's that for?" She was like, "Oh, you found somewhere to live?" And I'm like, "Yes." I'm like, "Yes." But I didn't find nowhere to live. And so then she picked up on the fact that, wait, this girl don't have nowhere to live. Why are you buying things
like you got to
don't have nowhere to live?
Right.
She thought I was crazy. She was like, "Baby, why are you spending money? You should probably use that money to buy your baby some diapers." Or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
She like, "Why did you, this girl is Looney Tunes. Why did you come in here with a rug? Where you going to put it?" You know, and I was just like, I couldn't talk about that with her. I was like, "Grandma, you know, don't worry about it. You know, just can I please keep it in your back room? I don't want to take it to the homeless shelter because I didn't even want that vibration."
Right. Because they said having a home in a homeless shelter. Right. That's crazy. Right.
I didn't even want my stuff over there.
Right.
I wanted it in a home. And so I was like, "Just let me keep it." And she was like, "Okay, go ahead and keep it." And so then what I would do is every night, instead of I moved from the letter, I actually received the letter that I was manifested in my head. I actually received it. And then I started seeing myself every night. I didn't know what the house looked like because, listen, my brain partially didn't really believe that the house was real because I had been homeless for 3 years. I was in a state of trauma at this point. You know, it was traumatic. So I didn't really believe it. I was staying there, but honestly I didn't. So buying the rug and the plaque really helped me believe that at least I know what the rug was like. So now I would vision every night me standing on this rug, putting my key in the door. I couldn't see the color of the door. I couldn't see the doorknob. I couldn't see the house because I really didn't believe in it. But I believed in the rug because I had already bought the rug.
And it's physically in your presence, right.
Right. So I could see myself standing on the rug. I put my key into a whatever color door, open the door, and as I walked in, I see the plaque on the wall. "This is our happily ever after." I could not see if it had carpet or hardwood floors. I couldn't see the walls. None of that other shit was real. The only thing that was real was the rug and the picture. That's the only thing that I could really focus on. But I kept doing it so much that I started to expect it. I started to expect to be putting my key in a door and walking in because I focused on it consistently. I did it so much that it became an expectation. it got to the point, so I received the letter I was looking for, and when I received the letter, the lady was like, well, ma'am, that doesn't mean you're going to get approved for a house. You know what I'm saying? That was just a preliminary just to get you in here, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get approved. She basically didn't want me to get my hopes up. I wasn't listening to what that lady was saying, no. I started looking for my house.
I was sitting looking like, well, dang, Debbie Downer, good God.
Right. I started looking for my house.
Right.
And so I started going to, see houses. Now, keep in mind, I'm homeless. I'm working at UAB as a patient transporter, making $8 an hour. All the money I'm making, I'm spending to go to work.
Right.
Okay,
right.
I got five kids in a homeless shelter. All the money I make, I'm spending to go to work. So I'm looking at houses, and I have no down payment. I have no first month's rent. I have no deposit. I have no means of getting a house, but I'm still looking at the house. This is the art of losing your mind and creating a new one. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm stepping out on faith. I'm spending time, I'm efforting, I'm buying things for this invisible ass house. This is how I manifested it. I was prepared. So when the lady and I knew everything was going to go through, when everything finally went through, she called me, congratulations, you can start looking for your house. I said, the address is. I had put so much time into this idea. I had put so much focus on this idea. I had invested so much emotionally into this idea that I started expecting it like it was my weekly paycheck at my job.
I see.
It's not about when or if. You better have my money on Friday.
Exactly. I say. Oh, wow.
And so that's how I manifested my house. She called me, said congratulations. I gave her the address. She was like, oh, that's a brand new property. I'm like, I know, because that's what I want. Oh. The house was only built for like a year. I was like, that's what I wanted. So she was like, well, a lot of people are trying to put a deposit on this house. The house is kind of expensive. Are you going to be able to pay the down payment? And so I'm like, I should be able to manage. And so she was like, well, let me let you talk to the manager over the whole thing, because I had an eviction because of Hurricane Harvey. When Hurricane Harvey hit, the FEMA people said my house was livable. It wasn't. There was black mold on the wall. I got sick. Had to get rushed to the emergency room because I passed out from the black mold, and I wasn't able to pay my rent. I wasn't going to pay the rent because I didn't have nowhere to sleep, because FEMA said it was livable, and so they wouldn't give me any money. Like, my hands were tied. And so I had the eviction, so I talked to the lady, put me on the phone with the manager of the leasing company, and when she got on the phone, she said her name was Andretta. And at that moment, I knew that everything was going to go in my favor, because my mother's name is Audretta.
Wow.
So I was like, this is too similar. And so the lady was like, we don't accept evictions. We don't accept this. And I was like, well, can I tell you my situation? I told her my situation. I told her I had been homeless for 3 years. I told her I just had a brand new baby. I got 5 kids. I told her that I'm doing my best to get on my feet. I got a job. I told her everything. I told her how I got evicted. And she was like, I'm going to make an exception for you, but I have to charge you a double deposit.
Why she got to charge you a double deposit? I'm just curious.
Because I'm a risk. You have some more invested. So they did have me do a double deposit, and so then I just had to start manifesting. I was like, that's fine. I was like, I didn't have the money at the time. I was like, that's fine. But I did switch jobs. I switched jobs from UAB to Rest Care, and Rest Care was still $8 an hour, but I was sitting in the house with patients, and patients who had mental illnesses. And so the way that I was coming up with the money was I started working 16-hour and 18-hour shifts. And so I was doing that, but even while I was doing that, magical money was just falling out the air in my lap. Like, I would just win money, or people would just bless me with money, or some, you know what I'm saying? Or I would receive a check, like money that was lost from years ago. I would find a check, like from the comptroller, and receive money that way. money was just flowing in. But that was my plan. In my head, my plan was I'm just going to work all these hours. I'm not going to have no off days because I don't really have to do much at the house. I just have to stay up and monitor the patients, and make sure they eat, like cook and the same stuff I do at home. I have to do it at another house.
Right, right.
And so that was my plan to just, work all these hours. And I came up with all the money I needed. I walked in the office page. They gave me the keys. And that's how I manifested my house. And everybody normally would not, no normal people, thinking with the old paradigm, they wouldn't have thought that they would have been able to do any of that from the position that I was in initially. I took out lack, I took out struggle, I took out hardships, I took out victim, I took all that out, and I started believing in abundance. I started believing in favor. I started believing in my worthiness. I started believing that I can have whatever I want. That from the moment that I desire it, it's already mine. I just have to get in alignment with that thing to receive it. It's like this. The things that you want, when you close your eyes and you feel how you would feel if you had them, 9 times out of 10, you're going to feel good, right?
Right.
So if you never feel good, how can you receive the things that you want that would make you feel good? You're not, it's like you're listening to 97.9, but you're trying to get the messages off of 104.1.
Mm-hmm.
You want a different frequency.
Okay.
So I had to change to a different radio station. I had to switch the frequency. So I literally had to forget all of the things that were, like, I had to stop complaining. So I have like a lot of techniques. So I would wear a rubber band on my arm, and I would play this game. And every time I would complain about something, I would have to give 10 gratitudes for the one complaint. Because the 10 gratitudes would cancel out the negative energy from that one complaint is way heavier. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to match it with the same amount of hertz, of frequency. You have to give an even exchange. So because I'm switching into this newer paradigm, my negative outweigh my positive at this point. So I have to build up more positive. Eventually the ice, it tipped. And then I became more positive versus negative. But I had to build it up to that phase. So I would put the rubber band on my hand, and this is a form of neuro-linguistic programming.
Mm-hmm.
But every time you would say something negative, then you would pop your wrist with the rubber band. That alerts your brain that this thing is no-no. It's a no-no. We're going to shock you. Okay? No-no. When the kid do something and you want to get their attention, you pop them real quick, or you do something that's going to get their attention. You might scream, yell. You might do anything, but you need this child to stop in their track. And so that's what we're doing with the rubber band. We're stopping that thought pattern in its track. And then we are doing 10 gratitudes immediately after that. We are reprogramming the mind. We are creating a new neural pathway in the brain. We are giving the brain a new command. We are giving it a new direction. We're giving it new information.
I see. So, question. For the audience members who are not vibrating to what they want, but saying the contrary, do they feel like, is it lying at that point? For example, like when you were saying, when you were actually physically homeless, that was a fact at that present moment. But you're saying all of these things, like I have my house, I see myself putting the key in the door of my home, I got my mat, but you don't have that. You're homeless. So when a lot of people would think to themselves, but I'm lying. Why am I doing this and I'm sitting here lying?
Well, in my opinion, I don't believe I was lying. I don't believe anybody was lying because I believe in parallel universes. I believe in parallel realities happening at the same time. And I'll explain what I mean by parallel. So, parallel is side by side, right?
Yes.
They never cross. So I believe that there is a different version of Aishatu living right now in this present moment at the same time that we are having this conversation in this reality. Mm-hmm. And I believe that I get to choose which reality I am going to play a role in. I get to choose which reality I want to embody in this moment. I believe that there is an extremely rich Aishatu vibrating right now, and there is an extremely poor Aishatu vibrating right now. And whichever frequency of Aishatu that I want to tap into will be the experience that I have in real time.
I say.
So when I'm saying I am a homeowner, I am this, even though I'm not lying, I'm just talking about Aishatu in a different frequency.
Next thing you know, you're in that same frequency.
Yeah, because that's exactly that's the magic. That's how you become it. So like, I'll give you another example. My vehicle. I drive a Cadillac Escalade. Now, I started wanting a Cadillac Escalade in 2017. I wanted one. It took me 5 years to manifest it, almost 5 years. Yeah, because I started 2017. I got it in May 2021. So I had to change my mind. At first, I didn't believe I could have it. That's why it took so long to get it. After I got my house, then I decided I wanted an SUV because we were in like a 4-door Acura with 5 kids. It wasn't enough space. So I said how much money I had available for the SUV. I had like $2,000. I knew how many seats I wanted, everything. I manifested a Tahoe that was originally like $3,500, but the guy gave it to me for $2,000. So I manifested my Tahoe. When I got in the Tahoe, immediately, and I did this to get in the Tahoe as well when I was in the Acura, I started to drive the way I would drive my Cadillac Escalade.
Mm-hmm.
My Tahoe, I didn't know when I bought it, because when I bought it, it was the winter time. The heat worked fine. When it became summertime, the air did not work. I didn't know the air didn't work when I bought it. So I'm in my car, it's hot. Instead of me complaining about how hot it is, I started to imagine that the AC was blowing really cold on my face the same way it would be doing in my Cadillac. I would drive the Tahoe, and I would imagine that it felt like a spaceship was gliding across the galaxy, because that's how Cadillacs feel.
Mm-hmm.
I started, like, even the emblem in the middle of the steering wheel, I would imagine that was a Cadillac emblem instead of the Chevy emblem.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I would notice how, I always see old white men driving Cadillacs. I would notice how they drive it. They always have one hand, like one elbow kind of cocked up on the windowsill,
mm-hmm.
and then they have the other one, like at the top of the steering wheel or on the side, of the steering wheel. And they always usually have like a big watch on or something. And they always drive like they have nowhere to go. Like they're gliding, but there's no stress on their face. They're not in a hurry because, broke people rush. Rich people don't really rush. Like, in my opinion, when I pay attention to people's body, their body motion,
language, right.
Yeah, their reaction, like, broke people seem stressed out when they're driving because they're always trying to get somewhere and they're never on time type shit. Right, and so I just paid attention to all of this stuff, and then I started embodying that. So it didn't matter where I had to be. I would drive swiftly, but I would not allow the stress of whatever I had going on to dictate how I was driving. I would drive as if I was in a Cadillac and I had all the money in the world. It didn't matter where I had to go. That's how I would drive in my Tahoe. And I was embodying it. And then I would ask myself questions like, okay, I say, so if you had your Cadillac right now, how would you be breathing? And then I would adjust my breathing. If you have your Cadillac right now, what music would you be listening to? What would you be thinking about? Where would you be driving the Cadillac to? What type of things would you be doing? And I just started to do those things. Even whenever we were homeless and things like that, I would still go shopping at Trader Joe's and Whole Foods because that's where I was going to be shopping anyway. It's the mentality. It's the mentality.
That's interesting.
It's the same mentality like they would, like I used to go to the dollar store all the time. right? I used to, I still go to Dollar Tree because they do be having some good stuff in there. But my point is I would go to the dollar store thinking that I was getting a better deal by going to the dollar store. Like, I would go buy tissue from the dollar store. Buying tissue at the dollar store is that's not a good idea. It's not for money. Like, if you're trying to save money or make money or have a lot of money, buying tissue and stuff at the dollar store, you're spending a whole lot more. You
really are.
You end up trying to be cheap. I was spending way more. When I changed my mindset, and, I went and got a Sam's Club membership or whatever. I went in there and bought some tissue. I spent $25 on the Scott 1,000 roll tissue. That tissue lasted us for 6 people in one house. I think it lasted us at least a good 6 months.
Wow.
I spent $25 for 6 months. And when I was going to Dollar Tree to buy tissue, I was spending $1 every day.
That's 6 months. That's 30 times 6.
That's $180.
Right.
$180 on tissue versus $25. Right. So, like, it's expensive to be broke.
Yes. Say that one more time.
It's expensive to be broke. I was spending more money with a lackful mindset than I save so much money now. I have extra money to do other things with. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, even if you look at my situation, it's more so about money management and having credit and pushing, and it appears like everything is on the up and up and up for me, but I can take somebody's current income, whatever they got going on right now, and rearrange some things and move some things around, and they can have a better quality of life with what they're making right now. It's just a mindset.
For those out there who have experienced or tried the law of attraction, tried to manifest things in their life, they will find it daunting. You know, those types that would try for a couple of days and be like, ain't nothing happening. How do you, or what method or advice do you have for those who behave in that way to remove the dauntingness of attracting what they want in their life?
Well, first of all, I would tell them to really pay attention to what they're doing, because they're actually, they're probably the master manifester. If they're complaining about things being daunting, I'm pretty sure that everything in their life is not going the way they want. So that means they're successfully doing what they're vibrating.
Mm-hmm.
So you are actually manifesting everything in your life that you are vibrating. You're vibrating complaints. You're vibrating negativity. You are in disbelief before you even get started. So I'm pretty sure that that's a reflection of your life right now. Mm-hmm. So you are the master manifester. You're not manifesting what you say you want. You're manifesting what you're displaying.
Mhm. Mhm.
And if you're thinking like that, I can guarantee that you are a master manifester of negative shit. So, and that's why you think the positive shit don't work. You have to. The microwave, I don't even use microwaves in my house. I don't own a microwave. The microwave really jacked people's perception up.
Yeah.
If it took you, like, let's say you're 33 years old. If it took you 33 years to get where you are right now, do you really think in 4 days you're going to have an equal and opposite experience in 4 days? It is possible. But do you really believe that? Because if you don't believe it, it's not possible for you. The only thing that's possible for you is what you believe. Like, I don't argue with people about rights and wrongs. I don't believe in right and wrong. I believe that there's a right for Aishatu and a wrong for Aishatu.
It's been said that if you believe it, you're right. If you don't believe it, you're right.
Right. It's like, I don't believe that this is a community thing. I don't believe that what's right for me is right for you also.
Right.
It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a personal thing. Mm-hmm. You know, there's no right or wrong way to do anything. You can get some information and personalize it and make it your own. You know, but I definitely think that you thinking that something's gonna change in 4 days is absurd. Yeah. You know, you have to make the commitment that you're going to do it regardless of what the outcome is. If you're only doing it because you're looking for the outcome to happen immediately, this is not something that you should try to do. It's not going to work for you. You're going to get frustrated. You know what I'm saying? If you make the decision that I'm going to try the law of attraction for the next 5 years, because remember, you gave 33 years to the bullshit
right.
that you're dealing with right now. So make the commitment to do it for 5 years.
So, in my experience in law of attraction, it's like a lifestyle change. It's not like something to diddle-daddle in. You know what I mean? This is now your whole new life and manifesting the things that you want to desire in your life. And if you're making a conscious decision to make certain, intentionally making something that happen in your life, this is not just something for a minute and then go back to the old ways. In order for your world to change, you got to change it. So this is a whole lifestyle change. When you start, there's no end to it.
Right. It's just like that movie, The Matrix. What you're doing is you're, instead of taking the red pill, you're deciding to take the blue pill. Or whichever, right. I can't remember which pill went to what part of the movie, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Right.
You're literally, instead of becoming you're not a consumer anymore, now you're a producer.
Mm-hmm.
When you step into the role of production, you have to look at the whole picture. You have to look at everything differently. You see things from a different perspective now. Nothing is the same. So, no, you absolutely cannot diddle-daddle. It's a decision, just like you decided when you got pregnant with your children. Do you have children?
Yes, I do. I'm a mother and a grandmother.
Okay, so when you got pregnant with your children, I don't know about you. I have 5. I only planned one of my babies. My other babies, they just kind of showed up. You know, I didn't necessarily plan all of them.
Right.
But I decided when I found out I was pregnant, I made a decision to love them. I didn't know this baby. It wasn't some feeling that I had in my body where it was just so much love. No.
Nah.
I was the paradigm that I was in when I had my first baby. I was 17. I was going through depression, on and off drugs. Like, that was not the feeling I had. I was kind of like, damn, I can't get high no more. That's the feeling I had.
Right.
I made the decision that I was going to love my child. You know what I'm saying? And so at that point, it didn't matter from that day forward. Anything that she did, anything that happened to us, I made the decision to love her. That's how you have to do the law of attraction. Make the decision that you are going to do the law of attraction, that you're going to live by the universal laws. It's not only one universal law. There's 50 of them. And if you really want to get the full essence of anything, you got to do it fully. You got to go in it 100% and give it, like become a part of that thing. Power is not just knowledge. You can't just read books. Power is the application of knowledge.
Yes.
So the difference in somebody being successful with law of attraction versus somebody thinking law of attraction is daunting is equivalent to being a consumer and a producer. Mm-hmm. Are you producing a law of attraction, or are you reading about it and trying to prove theories wrong?
And I think a lot of that dauntingness and the frustration is coming from being used to and comfortable in an old way of life. It's like, I'm going to try this new thing, but I still want to live the old way. That's insanity. That is absolute insanity.
They haven't accepted that the thing that they have been doing is not working. They haven't fully accepted that. Because when you're tired of being sick and tired, see, there's one thing I do know is that once you go down, the only way is up. Once you hit the bottom, there's only one direction you can go. It's up. Unfortunately, I had to experience a lot of rock bottoms before it became clear to me what was happening. You know what I'm saying? So I just tell people, keep living. You know what I'm saying? Either you can take the information as it comes to you and apply it with grace and ease, with no issues, or because once you know, you can't unknow things. You can't unknow it after you know. So now that you know what the law of attraction is, things are going to happen in your life you're either going to ignore it or you're going to get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and that's going to be the next, for me, it was what other choice do I have? I did have other choices, but it was like I refused to live below my means. I refused to live. I know who I am. I know what I deserve. You know what I'm saying? I refuse to live in the projects the rest of my life. I'm not doing that shit.
So, in conclusion, do you have like a want to go on or a final word that you want to say in regards to law of attraction to the audience?
Yes. The most important thing about the law of attraction is to feel good. If the things that you are trying to manifest or desire would make you feel good, your daily intention should be to feel good at all costs. However that comes to you, there's no judgment. You're a divine sovereign being. Whatever you want to do is good enough for you. Stop telling people everything and looking for their approval and their validation. You know, whatever is going to make you feel good, that's what you should do in that moment, because the longer you feel good, the quicker and the easier the things you want will show up. You got to match the vibrational frequency of everything you want. If you want $1 million, you have to vibrationally be at the same heart space as a millionaire. Do all the things your heart loves. That's my advice.
I say too. Yes. You are a beautiful being of light. I enjoyed this interview. I truly do. Before we go, though, tell us a little bit about your music. I don't want to skip over that. Tell us a little bit about your music.
So I am Goddess Music, and I make music to help you unleash the goddess within. I make music for goddesses. I don't believe in religion, but I do appreciate religion, and I take different things from different religions around the world. And I just, take what I like and I embody them. So the music is conscious style. I'm basically talking about my life story. The way I started doing this whole mixtape is called Creating My Reality. You guys can get it on every streaming platform. Just type it into your streaming service, Creating My Reality by Goddess Music. It should pop up for you. That whole album, that whole mixtape, I was supposed to write a book about my life because I'm 32 years old and I literally have lived a lifetime of 5 women in my 32 years. My story is pretty crazy, So I was trying to write a book. I couldn't write the book, but I've been rapping since I was 12, so I was like, let me just write it. So the album is my life story. It's like an introduction to different parts of my life. So I literally tell you, I give you the recipe in the songs. If you listen to the songs, I tell you how I was thinking before. I tell you the lifestyle I was living, the depression. I talk about the drugs. I talk about the abuse. I talk about the absence of my parents' love and all this kind of stuff. And then I tell you how I am where I am now. So the whole album, I'm dropping nuggets. I'm teaching people about metaphysical. I'm teaching people about the orishas, about different goddesses and gods, about energy, about frequency. So I like to look at the mixtape as an intro into spirituality, into living as a divine sovereign being. It's relatable because I still talk about things that people understand, and then I explain to them in the song. All I did was change the way I was thinking. All I did was this. I give them a how-to. So it's a really dope project. Y'all should tap in.
Yeah, that's what the MeMyddleton show is about, the introduction into spirituality, which was the reason why I created the MeMyddleton show, is because there's a lot of people who think they're on the next episode of Charmed, and they thinking, they doing something and they actually tearing their life and somebody else's life up. So the MeMyddleton show is geared towards teaching neo-spiritualists the correct way, and you being a guest on this show and sharing your music, sharing your process of manifestation and law of attraction is definitely keys in assisting in the MeMyddleton show and helping those listening to be on the correct, not the right, the correct way of being in this magical and mystical world and having that human experience in the most beautiful, creative way in everything in life in the way they want to do it. And I want to thank you for sharing your gift, sharing your story, and teaching the audience about law of attraction. Let us know how we can contact you.
Okay, so, and I want to say one more thing. I also run a store, 13 Degrees of Gold. You mentioned it at the beginning. But all of my products that I create in my store are created with the intention to help you along your spiritual journey, your spiritual path. So one of my personal mottos is I think everybody should look, feel, smell good while they're healing. So I do create body products like body butters, deodorants. I have money sprays, hair oils, essential oils, all of those things, and they are all powered and charged with you realizing that you're gold, you realizing that you are the god or the goddess of your life. They help you to shift your mindset without you actually physically picking up a book, reading, and doing the work. I attune these products with the vibration of the things you desire.
So I want to talk about one of your products because I've got some of your products. And honey. So I got 4 of your sprays, 2 of your body butters, and let me tell you, one day I had sprayed one of your sprays. I don't even remember which one I picked up. Because I got all 4 of them next to each other, and I got the body butters next to each other. And one day after I got out of my shower, I'm adorning myself with your body butter, and I was just thinking about, certain manifestations that I wanted in my life. And, that's 24/7 in my head of what I'm always plotting and planning my next move of what I'm doing, right?
Right.
And I was just picking it up. I don't even remember which one I picked up, but I'm going to announce which ones I have. I have the gold member. I'm going to tell you a story about what happened, though. I have the gold member. I have the golden sage, and I have the liquid gold, and I have Pay Me in Gold.
Yes.
And I don't remember which one I picked up. I just went to... Let me tell you, honey, so as I was going out about my day and I was shopping, and this lady, I mean, you could tell she was a tree-hugging hippie. I'm a tree-hugging hippie, too, so no shade, but you could tell she was my flock. So this white lady comes up to me, and she was like, "Oh, my God, you have such a beautiful aura about yourself. Who are you?" And I'm like, wow, really? That just never happened like that. Someone just walk up to you and say, "Who are you?" I'm like, bruh. In my mind, I'm just like, taken aback by, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm like, hi, my name is Evina. She was like, "Oh, my God, Evina, I don't know what's going on with this aura, but something tells me you are just a wonderful person and you deal with the public." I'm like, "Yes, that's true." She said, "So what do you do?" And I'm like, "Why is this woman walking up on me like that?" So I explained to her what I do, that I am an intuitive consultant, I am a life coach, I am a public speaker, and I also host a podcast. And she was like, "I knew you dealt with the public and talking. So listen, I have this event coming up." So she started telling me about an event that she's having for the top of 2022, and she wanted me to be a guest speaker. And I'm like,
wow, I bet you sprayed the gold member. Either gold member or Pay Me in Gold, because that's what those 2 sprays do. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because a lot of they're money sprays, so a lot of people buy them just for the money. But it's my whole goddess aura in those bottles. So I'm glad that you brought that up. A lot of people don't notice the attention that they get whenever they use the sprays, because when I walk in the room, all the attention comes to me.
Okay.
Right. So that's what they are designed to do. They're designed, all the attention's on money, right?
Right.
If they're money sprays and you have to be the vibration of the thing you're manifesting, All eyes on you too.
I say, because she sure had her eyes on me, and I another thing about law of attraction is you don't want to hold on to that thought. You want to put it out there and then go about your life. You know what I mean? If I need you to pay a bill, I say and I'm giving you the money to go pay the bill, to go do the job, you can't go do it if I'm still holding on to the money.
Right.
So you have to. I have to let it go so you can go handle the business and go do what you need to do for me. Right?
Right.
So the same thing. So when I sprayed myself, I went on about my life. I completely forgot about that until I got home, and I happened to look at. I have a money table, not an altar, and I do have a money altar, but this particular table, I just have all like my money supplies. Like I got my ancestor money, I got your products that I got from you, and I got other products that either I made or I bought from other people that dealt with money. And I just so happened to look over the table, and I'm like, golly, you know what? That's where the fuck that came from, bruh. So I'm like tripping in my head, like that's what that was. It was from the spray. And I'm like, I can't wait to tell her, but I'm going to tell her in a special way. And this is the way I wanted to tell you on this interview.
This is so dope. And the sprays it's kind of like taking a shot of liquor. And I'm actually going to do a live on my Facebook explaining some more of the power of them. But it's like taking a shot of liquor, you know. It's like, you know, you want to have a good time. You want to have fun. Okay, I'm about to take this shot, and then whatever happens, happens. That's the same idea with the sprays. I tell people, say your information. So you can say things like, money comes to me easily and effortlessly. Or you can be more specific and call in $500, $1,000, whatever you want. I am an immediate additional increase of $5,000. Thank you, I accept. Spray your spray. That's like taking a shot and then go have fun. Go and be the you that has $5,000 in addition. Like, go ahead and be the party girl. Go ahead and release your stress. Let your hair down. Go have fun. And the money just going to show up. It's going to show up.
That's showing up happening. And I appreciate you and your product. I appreciate your say that you put in your products to help the world manifest that in which they want. So, yeah, go ahead and continue telling us how we can reach you.
Yes, so you guys can find me on Instagram at 13 Degrees of G. You can also find me on Instagram at Goddess Music with a Q, because I'm good for your soul. You can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/C/Goddess Music with a Q. You can find me on Facebook at 13 Degrees of Gold, or under my original name, which is Aishatu Ahmadu. You'll see Goddess Music with a Q in parentheses. You can also email me at 13degreesofgold@gmail.com. If it's music related, email me at goddessmusic@gmail.com. And you can also give my business phone a ring, 205-738-0400. I do help coach people. I do spiritual advising for people, divination for people. So if you're wanting assistance on your spiritual journey, or you just want somebody to help you figure things out, or if you have a goal in mind and you want some techniques and some accountability to help you become a master manifestor, it just takes practice. I can help you do that. Reach out to me if you need a speaker or a performer for any of your events. I'm your girl. Reach out to me. And if you need any metaphysical products, herbs, or anything to help take your life to the next level, get at me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Aishatu Ahmadu, thank you so much, sis, for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Did you enjoy? Ooh, I hope you did. Did you learn anything? I hope you gained a great wealth of information. Did this episode leave you with questions? I hope you got plenty of those too. Send your questions to MeMyddleton@gmail.com. You never know, your question just might be the next topic on the MeMyddleton Show. What would you like to see on the MeMyddleton Show? Do you have any suggestions? Send them over to MeMyddleton@gmail.com, and I'll be super happy to read your suggestions. If you're listening in on Podbean, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any other platform, please leave a comment. If you're listening in on YouTube, leave a comment, click on the like button, click subscribe, and click on the notification bell to be notified of all uploaded videos. Check out my website at www.helpbyevena.com. That's HELPBYEVENAH.com. View merchandise, get a consultation, and listen to all episodes of the MeMyddleton Show. And remember, proper prior planning practically promotes persistent productivity and proud, pristine performances. Now, go practice your craft and perform. Until next time.